Steve, I'm so excited that you're here because I know and you know that what the world needs right now is a little bit of vision and a little bit of laughter. So
Yeah.
that is what we are serving here today.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome. Thank you.
yeah. Okay, so first question that I am like dying to know the answer to.
Mhm.
Take us back to the day. We're going to start here because I know it's a good story.
Yeah.
That you were hitting golf balls in the middle of a thunderstorm
hmm
and literally daring God himself to strike you down with lightning. This is a
Yeah.
story we need to hear.
It was a particularly low time in my life. It was August of 2003. I had in a real short window of time managed to destroy a 10-year radio career by just walking away because I was just falling apart,
Burnout. Yeah.
burned out. This is
Yeah.
why I no longer subscribe to the hustle and grind mindset. It almost
Yes.
killed me. So I did that, and my first marriage was falling apart. And I was just about 35 years old and
Mm.
about $62,000 in debt because I was not paying
Oh,
attention to where the money was going.
yeah.
And genius me, while my career is falling apart and my life's falling apart, I take out a $30,000 business line of credit with only about an $11,500 a year DJ business.
Mm.
Um, and my self-talk at the time was probably a little bit, I'd say, damaging. According to my journals from back then, I used to refer to myself
Yeah.
as Hurricane Dumbass Category
Oh,
5,
okay.
which
Yeah.
is the strongest storm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so one day I just decided to take out my frustrations and self-loathing on a
Mm-hmm.
bucket of golf balls because you could hit them and you don't get in trouble.
True.
So I had $3 in my pocket on a hot and humid Friday afternoon, and I stopped by this mini golf place that had a driving range. And knowing I'm a horrible golfer, I didn't want to dent anybody's car. I went to the farthest tee box on the property, and it just happened to be under this whole row of steel towered power lines. So
Oh, how
about five
convenient.
minutes
Hmm.
in, and a thunderstorm comes through. I mean, we're talking major thunder, lightning, pouring rain, and
Mm.
wind. And everybody but me ran from the storm. And I just
Mm.
sat there hitting away, and at one point held the club up and just that little slow circle and said, "Go ahead. I
Mm.
dare you." Now, it wasn't that I was mad at God.
Of
And
course.
I had somebody basically throw holy water at me through Zoom one time saying, "You should never, challenge God." I go, I wasn't challenging God. I was just being a sarcastic
You
idiot.
know what? Yeah.
Yeah. And so I finished my bucket of balls, and then I hit two full buckets from guys who had just arrived before the storm came, and they ran and never came back. So I'm like, hey,
Oh,
two
sweet.
more buckets. So I get out to
Yeah.
my car when I'm done. I can't even lift my arms anymore.
Yeah.
And the rain stops, and the first couple little tiny rays of light come through the cracks in the dark clouds. And I just started laughing. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Next day, I'm on a phone call with my brand new life coach. I'm his first client. Like just the ink is still wet on his online coaching certificate that he
Yeah.
got. So I'm the guinea pig. He's like, "Hey, have you ever thought of trying this?" So I'm tried everything on me. And he says, "How was your week?" And I just started laughing. I go, "Listen to what this dumbass did yesterday." And I tell him the story. Of course, I made it super self-deprecating because that was my self-talk,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but funny as hell. And
Yeah.
when he stopped laughing, which if you're a coach or you mentor people or help people, um, and their lives suck, you're not supposed to laugh at them, but he was. And then he asked, "I got two questions for you. Are you this open and honest about your life with pretty much anybody?" I said, "Yeah." And he asked, "Have you ever thought of being a motivational speaker or a stand-up comedian? I think you'd be really good at both." What he did
Mm.
not know is when I was 11 years old, my four goals: radio DJ, which I'd already done,
Mm-hmm.
stand-up comedian, author of my own books, and a teacher of people, but not in a classroom.
Wow.
And out of that one conversation, he pulled, it just inspired him to ask, "Have you ever thought of this?" "Yeah, but I
Mm.
have no idea how to pursue it or even go after it."
It sounds like the lightning struck the day after in that conversation.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
because in the junk mail pile on his desk was a brochure from a local community college that had a class called Intro to Stand-Up Comedy that started 2 weeks later. And
Wow.
I had a front row seat. And a week after that, my first Toastmasters meeting.
Wow.
And here we are.
Here we
Ta-da. I still
are.
have the golf club. I don't think it's even hit a golf ball ever since. And even now, I'm 58 years old now. Even now, I hear thunder and I look, I go,
Mm.
God's still laughing at me. Okay.
Well, I also have a deep, deep love for stand-up comedy. It like got me through some of the darkest periods of my life because it's all about finding the humor in absolutely everything. You have to, or you won't make it through this life. You just won't. And
Yeah.
so that's one of my goals that almost feels too scary to even acknowledge, right? Because it
Yeah.
feels so big. But I have actually written sets. Like I've got a real good one going on in my brain right now. You'll
Yeah.
appreciate this story.
Sure.
Over the weekend, I have two daughters. I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old,
Hmm.
and I have a nephew that's also 6. We were at my parents' this weekend. They're Gigi and Poppy,
Hmm.
and they're all playing at the pool. And my nephew comes barreling up the stairs. I mean, he's coming in hot. And he flings open the door and he goes, Aunt Melissa, Scarlett, my oldest daughter,
Yeah.
just told me that I am warm-blooded and a mammal. And I was like, yeah, buddy, both those things are objectively true. And he started to have a full breakdown. He was like, no, no, I am not warm-blooded. I was cold in the pool. Okay. And my mom, my sister, has never told me that I'm warm-blooded or a mammal. And I was like, okay, I didn't know that that was a conversation we needed to do like a sit down for.
Yeah.
But I guess we need to add that to the parenting book. And then
Yeah.
he starts running up the stairs, screaming, crying. And my mom goes, well, why did you think you were a reptile? And that now he's like at Mount Vesuvius levels of eruption. Like
Yeah.
there's no coming back. And he runs into the room with my sister and he's like, you never told me. And my sister's like, I don't even know what's happening right now. And I was
Yeah.
like, Scarlett told him he's a warm-blooded mammal. So good luck up there. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the day, it was comedy gold for me because I
Yeah.
just kept looping it back. And I was like, guys, like anytime anything remotely disappointing happened that night, I was like, guys, our family can't handle anymore. Okay. We had a mammal identity crisis today. We don't have any space for anyone else. Like, just
Yeah.
everybody figure your life out.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Love it.
stand-up comedy is just, I think there's just something so magical about it,
Yeah.
doing it or being in the audience. And so
Yeah.
I just love that. Okay,
Yeah.
so motivational speaking,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about like I mean, obviously you're telling us some of the messaging, but like
Yeah.
what is a big part of your messaging today?
Big part of it is it comes down to a podcast host who had asked me one time if I was to drive down a road and you had to explain what you do just in enough room on a billboard for me to catch it doing 50 miles an hour past it, what would it be? I said, oh,
Oh,
it's easy. See it, be it, do it. Meaning,
oh,
create a vivid vision for your life, in your entire life, not just the material things.
yeah.
Be it, become the person you need to be able to pursue, understand, and become it. And then do it. Take the actions necessary, build your habits, create momentum, and do that. And he just went, whoa, that's deep. So I actually had a coffee mug made, and now it's full of pencils on the other desk, and it says, "See it, be it, do it." And
I
that's what it
love
comes
that.
down to.
You're
And
right.
it's simple.
It is simple. I know it feels really scary, especially because you and I can deeply relate to the burnout. And when you're in that phase, you cannot lift your head up and think about dreaming.
Yeah,
Like, what? That's like impossible. Because
yeah,
I was having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine the other day, objectively successful, very, very successful,
mhm,
always been that way.
yeah,
And she is feeling sort of not lost, but stuck. Like
yeah.
I'm doing all this and I'm not really sure if it's what I want anymore, but it's
Ah,
always been what I
yes.
wanted. But now it just feels like I'm spinning tires and I'm like, yeah, that is what you're doing. And
Yeah.
it is really, really, really scary to do it, right? To
Mhm.
say, okay, this is actually what I want. And now I have to make action to step forward in that. Because I'm sure when you stepped on the stage for the very first time as a stand-up comic, you weren't like, this is going to be easy,
Oh
right? You were
no, no,
probably
I don't even remember
terrified.
it.
Yeah.
Thank God somebody, made video of it because
Yeah.
in early on in my comedy, I traveled. I live in southern New Hampshire, and I drove all the way down to Boston for a little
Mm.
comedy competition. And I was just an open micer at best.
Yeah.
And somebody asked me the next day, "Hey, how did last night go?" I said, "Well, let me put it this way: I got through 5 minutes of material in three and a half." Disqualifying me because I didn't have to stop for all that pesky laughter and applause that usually get in the way. And I can't remember a darn thing I said,
Yeah. But you did it.
but I did it.
Yeah.
I did it.
There's
That
some,
which doesn't kill me gives me a great story to share on
oh
stage.
my
And that
God.
I look at my entire life that way.
That is so good.
And as we discussed, prior to the show, there's been a lot going on
Yeah.
in between. There's a reason that one of my keynote stage stories is called "Some Days Your Phoenix Rides a Pogo Stick."
Mm.
Because I've been in and out of that fire, burnt my tail feathers off and regrew them I don't know how many times over the past 25 years.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important to talk about that, like that you're opening up this space because you did do the rebuilding and you started that and you met the love of your life
Yes, it did.
and then life lifed at you again harder
Mhm.
than maybe ever before. So
Yeah.
talk about how you're still handling and walking through that grief.
Yeah. I actually built us for 2 years on vision boards, the dream
Oh,
relationship I wanted to have from 2005 to early 2007. I mean, pictures of couples uh, walking hand in hand on a beach,
yeah.
standing at the railing of a ship at sunset,
Mm,
and together in a kitchen cooking a meal and just laughing and being silly. And on early June of '07, I wrote in my journal, I am ready to fall in love. I've done all the work for myself to be the best version of me, see it, be it.
now I want to
And
do it.
on June 16th of '07, I got an email from 1,350 miles away from a woman I had not seen since the day we graduated high school in June of '86. So 21 years.
Wow.
And she just reached out and said, "Hey, I see that you're doing all kinds of stuff." The kid who used to hide behind me in math class so he wouldn't get called on, who was so shy. And we should keep in touch. And after a month of calls, emails, and texts, she said, "Can I tell you something if you promise not to freak out?" And I said, "Sure." She goes, "I had a crush on you in high school. And I
Oh,
and right now I love you."
oh,
And I said, "I love you too." And so
oh.
we got to be head over heels in love for 6,386 days,
Mm,
17 and a half years. And on December 8th, 2024, we hopped on a flight to London because there was a George Michael tribute concert. Tina loved George Michael.
mm,
And the morning of December 9th, we went down to breakfast in our hotel,
mm-hmm.
came back upstairs. She says, "Oh, honey, can you set up my computer? I got to log on and do a little bit of work." I said, "Sure, I'll go down to the gym." And just like I do at home, I opened the door, I looked back at her and said, "Love you, bye." And she said, "Bye." And an hour later, when I came up from the gym, she had collapsed, leaning over on the couch. She had had a massive heart episode. She still had a pulse, for which I am so grateful.
Oh, yeah.
And myself and a hotel employee with medical training were doing our best to revive her until the EMTs got there, but she literally died in my arms, for
Oh,
which I am so grateful.
yeah.
And I just pray she could hear me as I cried all over her and said, "I love you and you're not supposed to leave me."
Oh,
So it's been since that day, it's life is just different.
yeah.
And, but I do my best to honor her every day, no matter what happens in the world around me or how the rest of the world reacts.
Yeah.
It's up to me to my hashtag for this year at the dead center of my vision board with some beautiful pictures of her and us.
Mm.
Hashtag honor my Tina.
Oh, okay. Well, there's no longer a dry eye in the audience, nor on this side of the conversation. Oh my God, that's incredible. And I know she heard you and is with you every day. Like, I'm sure. I know. I feel that.
Yeah.
And I
She
just,
shows me,
I bet.
often by a song that will pop up in my
Mm,
YouTube playlist or on Alexa, because we always used Alexa as a
yeah.
jukebox.
Yeah.
Um, Things just keep happening. Just
Mm,
the other day, I was struggling with something. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes.
yeah.
I was struggling with something, and I was really frustrated. And I was cutting an avocado in half for my post-workout smoothie. And usually I buy them so they're just soft enough they break in half. Well, this
Yeah.
one didn't, and I had to use a knife. And a little piece of the skin of the pit of the avocado fell on the cutting board, and I looked down and it was heart-shaped and it was facing me in exactly the right direction.
Oh my gosh, Tina, you guys
So
are so
yeah,
romantic and
I
sweet.
always look up and I go, "Thank you,
Thank
baby."
you.
I always say,
Oh,
"Thank you, baby." And
yeah,
she lets me know often that she's here in our home with me.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, first, I just want to give you a big hug, but I know that you're making her so proud. And it's moments like that in life that people either go one of two ways, right? They crumble
Yeah.
or they rise, right? Phoenix, which is one of
Yeah.
my favorites. I actually went to Elon University, which is the home of the Phoenix.
Oh,
And
look at
big Harry
that.
Potter
See?
fan, big
Yep.
Harry Potter fan. Yeah.
Nice.
So I deeply connect with that imagery. And, I think it's important to note for our audience that like you used that moment as a rise opportunity, not as a, well, look, I've been smited again,
Yeah.
right? Because I think a lot of people in the world right now are hurting and they don't know how to sometimes push through that in the best way, not in a
Yeah.
negative way.
Yeah.
So how do
Yeah.
you do that every day?
Very simple. And this actually touches back on your friend who appears to have
Mm-hmm.
all the success, but is not
Yeah.
feeling it. I know my why. And
Mm,
some people say, well, why do you do that? Oh, I don't know. It would be cool. It might be nice. I believe for if you want a vision that's going to really fire you up to keep going and growing and showing up, which I believe is are the three steps you have to do every day.
yeah.
You've got to have an emotionally connected why. Yeah, I mean, somebody has to wake you up at 2 in the morning and say, why are you doing this? You have to be able to not only say it, but feel it
Yeah.
and make someone else go, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
I've got my why. And it
Mm-hmm.
goes back to a promise I made to Tina in January of 2023. When she came up to me in our living room, remember exactly where I was standing. She came up, she gave me a tight hug, put her head on my chest, and looked up and says, honey, can I ask you a favor? I said, yeah, baby. Can this be the year that you get famous again so I can quit my job and find something less stressful? And by getting famous again, she meant to be paid to speak because it
Uh-huh.
was a very difficult few years.
Yeah.
Tina was the fourth death of somebody very close to me in 6 years.
Yeah.
The pandemic wiped out all of my speaking and coaching and
Yeah.
my DJ business, which I'd
Yeah.
had for 28 and a half years. And I had been breathing unknowingly for 2 years, toxic black mold coming from our attic through
Ugh.
the vent right above my desk. And cognitively, I was in a fog a lot of
Yeah.
the time. It affected my bloodstream, my organs, everything. And we
Wow.
finally figured it out. So I had this very difficult clump of years.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of depression in there as well.
Yep.
And I found that note that I wrote from January 2023, when I said to Tina, yes, I will do my best to get famous again.
Mm-hmm.
And I was starting to put stuff together, and then she died.
Mm.
So I rediscovered it. It's now on the whiteboard above my desk on my office wall. I see it all day long.
Good.
And that's my why, is to
Yeah.
honor her. And to that end, something I'd put off for 10 years. I'm actually pitching a TEDx talk this week, inspired by something that happened in the hotel room that day, called What a
Yes.
Foot Rub Reminded Me About Communication and Love.
Yeah. Do you want to say make people like that's a teaser, or do you want to share any part of that story?
Oh, I
I know.
can share the whole
Okay.
story,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no problem. For about the last 6 years or so, I gave Tina a foot rub 99% of the evenings.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first 11 years of our relationship, I would always say, hey, babe, you want a foot rub? No, no, I don't like having my feet touched. No. Now I love giving foot rubs and back rubs and
Oh,
massages and
you're like
holding
a
hands
woman's
and
dream, Steve. Yeah.
physical. Well, Tina used to look at me and say, you realize you're the chick in this relationship, right? And I'd go, damn straight. And she'd go,
Yeah.
okay, just checking. But I knew her love language was touch and little gestures.
Mm.
So I would always offer to give her a foot rub. And then one night her feet were right near me on the couch, and I put one of her ankles in a headlock and I started rubbing her foot. And she goes, "Oh my God, you're good at that."
You're
So
like,
the
I've
next
been
night I'm
trying
sitting
to
on the
tell ya.
couch. I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, my hands literally were bigger than her feet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And the next night I'm sitting there on my laptop. She's watching TV and I'm totally ignoring her, of course. And a little tiny foot comes into my periphery and wiggles the toes. And I look over at her. I go, "You want a foot rub?" She had big, beautiful blue eyes and she nodded her head. She's like, "Yes, please." So every night she got a foot rub. Well, she passed, I found her at 9 a.m.
Hmm.
on that Monday morning in the hotel room in London. She was declared deceased at 10. Her body remained there until 8 o'clock that evening before the London coroners were able to come. So the police were there and
Hmm.
it was a very difficult day.
Yeah.
About 3 or 4 o'clock, I realized I'd not given her a foot rub the night before because our schedules were so off.
Hmm.
And the police had left the room. They'd left the room. Anytime I came back downstairs, we had a two-room suite, a two-floor suite. And anytime I wanted to spend time with her, they would respectfully leave the room.
Oh, that's
I said,
nice.
"Oh my gosh." I said, "Baby, I never gave you your foot rub last night." So I knelt down at her feet, bawling my eyes out, talking to her, and gave her a foot rub.
Mm.
And it just reminded me that we need to communicate, be congruent in our communication every single day with our thoughts, our words, and our actions.
Yeah.
And never have regrets when we lose somebody. Now, it can be in a work relationship, it can be in a loving relationship, it can be the relationship you have with that person in your mirror. But your
Hmm.
thoughts, your words, and your actions need to be in alignment. And giving her that foot rub, that is the greatest single action I could have taken that day.
Yeah.
To just cement that lesson that even if she couldn't feel it anymore,
Hmm.
that she knew that, and I knew how important that was
Yeah.
as a
The
final gift to
right.
her.
I was gonna say, what a beautiful way to say goodbye,
Yeah.
right?
I would regret it if I hadn't done it.
Yes. Yeah.
I truly
Yeah.
would. Yeah.
Whew. People are crying, Steve. We're making them all cry.
Well, I've cried enough, and I can now tell this, which I called my agent that week from London. I was stuck in London 2.5 weeks,
Oh,
and I waited a couple of days to call my speaking agent because I didn't want her. Obviously, I didn't say anything on social media for a couple of days,
yeah.
um, for various reasons. And I reached out to her. I said, "I don't want you to hear this on Facebook, but I lost my Tina," and she
Mm,
knew our story and loved it.
yeah.
And I said, "And just so you know, when I am ready, I want you to book me on stages at any grief event you can find because I
Mm,
want to share our story to help other people heal and to inspire other people that real love does exist."
wow.
And that's now why I'm pitching a TED Talk. That's the
Yeah.
fastest. Well, I shouldn't say the fastest. That's the easiest way for me to get that message out to the
Mm,
most people,
right.
and then to hopefully parlay that into being on stage at grief conferences and to
Yeah.
aim my message and my heart and my love and my soul to the back rows and the sides and the shadows, because those are people who maybe aren't ready to be in the light yet, but I want to reach them because
Yeah.
that's where I sat for most of my life.
Yeah. There's something so incredible about the desire to reach into someone else's soul. And it's not only a reflection of like your own pain, it's their pain too. It's like saying, I understand. And there might not, you might be giving language to something that people don't have language around yet. And that's really powerful. People don't understand. I did a whole episode on like the power of your voice and that people need to hear your story, right? Because somebody hears your story and thinks, "Oh my God, now I have a blueprint. Now I know what to do. Now I know how to walk through this difficult time." And I think we're very like-minded in that. You know, our visions and our audience is different, but we both are people that deeply, deeply want other people to feel seen, loved, valued, heard, and they are not alone
Yeah.
because that is such a horrible feeling to think you're going through something all by your lonesome and you're just not. Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
do my
so,
best to be a human plus sign wherever I go, just to leave.
yes.
And I learned this by observing one of my grandfathers. He was a very simple man. He was a master carpenter and cabinet maker his entire life. Very quiet,
Mm-hmm.
just good family man, just wonderful, gentle human being and gentle soul. And I watched for a good chunk of my life him just leaving situations better than he found them. And that
Mm.
included people and showing
Yeah.
respect and holding doors open and just being nice and just smiling at people.
Yeah.
And so
It's
I do my
so
best to do
easy.
that because, I own the factory. I'm never going to run out.
Yeah.
I got more plus signs in my heart than Keebler elves have cookies in a tree. And I
Yes.
can just keep going forever and never run out. And what I found out, especially after losing Tina, every simple act of kindness actually helped me to heal.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's psychology behind that.
Yeah.
It's called opposite action, right? Like when you are in your own stuff and you do something for somebody else that you are like, how am I doing this? I don't think I can. It's called opposite action. And it actually does. You're exactly right. It heals some parts of us. Real
Yeah.
quick, I have to show you this.
Mhm.
This is my tiny dog. She's
Oh,
16 years old.
wow.
This precious creature, like, oh, sorry, Rue. No one asked, but this dog has decided she's like, I'm an emotional support dog now. Like that is my identity. This dog
Wow.
does not leave my side or my daughter's side, daughters. She's
Yeah.
either on me or on one of them. And so she's in my lap right now because she was batting my leg for the last 10 minutes. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Love that.
she takes her she this is her why. She has her own why. She's living her best life.
Yeah.
So I want to pivot because I know that you have some absolute gems to share about vision board creation.
Yeah.
So I'm a vision board girly. I
Mhm.
know a lot of our listeners are probably vision board girlies. And I know that a lot of the times people make vision boards of the things, right? I want the car and the house and the clothes and the jewelry. So
Mhm.
let's talk about what, why are people doing vision boards wrong? And how do they need to do them correctly so that they
Yeah.
actually get what they want in life?
Yeah. I can't necessarily say they're doing them wrong, but I can say that they're doing themselves a great disservice by not doing them the way that I explain them.
Okay,
And it
perfect.
doesn't mean that my way is the only way. It just means
Yeah.
my way is what worked for me.
Yeah.
When people ask me, what qualifies you to talk about this? I just look at them and go, I've screwed my life up way more than you have, but I took notes. And then I
Yes.
figured out what worked and ta-da, now I teach it.
Yeah.
Most of what I see from people, especially at the beginning of the year, somebody would just email me out of nowhere and say, Hey Steve, I made a vision board. I don't need your program. I go, yeah, go ahead. Send me the picture. Go
Yeah.
ahead. And it's what I call the vision board starter kit. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
the Lamborghini, the yacht, the private jet, the mansion, the helicopter, the big honking jewelry, and the
Yep.
bank vault full of gold bars and
Yeah.
piles of cash. And of course, the supermodel guy or girl
Yeah, yeah,
that you're
yeah.
dreaming of in
Mm-hmm.
a relationship. And there's not a single thing wrong with any of those. But here's my question: who do you want to become?
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe who you become is a lot more important than what you get.
Yeah.
And that's where people kind of, they look at me like a puppy and tilt their head. And,
Mm-hmm.
and like if their ear could flop down, it probably would,
Yeah.
because they're very confused by that. And I say, look, you are not just material stuff, money or material wealth. That's not you. So I
Mm-hmm.
work with a tool called the Life Wheel. And it's a pretty standard tool in personal development. And it looks like a pizza,
Yeah.
really, like a wheel.
Yeah.
8 slices.
Yes.
Physical health, your emotional well-being. Imagine that, setting goals for the emotions you want to feel on a regular basis. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Your closest relationships, your core values that guide all of your thoughts, your words, and actions, kind of like your integrity rules.
Yeah.
Your faith, if that's an important part of your life, because there's lessons there to follow as well. Your connection to the world in real ways. And boy, didn't that take a beating just a few years ago during the pandemic?
Oh, yeah.
Loneliness, isolation, depression, addiction,
Yep.
and worse. And then your career and your money. And when people say, well, Steve, that's a lot. That's a lot to think about. I said, well, look, hey, they're all happening 24/7, whether or not you're paying attention. So wouldn't it be a good idea
Yep.
to start? And here's how I suggest people start: pick one goal for each one of those categories,
Yes.
just one. If there's a certain body fat percentage you want to have, or a certain weight on your scale, or a certain number of good, healthy meals that you make for yourself each week, great, set that as a goal.
Yeah.
Um, Tell me what emotions you want to feel on a regular basis. Find a graphic or create something or a word or whatever that represents that
Yeah.
and go around. And then I suggest when you're making the board, whatever is most important to you, put that in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else kind of works outward from there. And here's why I say that they're all tied together. Say, for example, you want to make more money, which is a great goal.
Yeah.
You want to make more money? Great. You start getting better sleep at night. Well, you want to get better sleep at night. You should probably exercise a little bit during the day and eat better food so you sleep better at night. And when you wake up after you get a good night's sleep, you're more focused. And when you show up for work more focused, you can be a lot better with your time
Yeah.
and maybe make a little extra money in bonuses or commissions or whatever.
Yeah.
To do that, you can buy back some time and freedom so that you can spend time with the people in your closest relationships. Now, if you
Yeah.
do all this in accordance with really good core values and integrity and in the rules of your faith, so you're not looking over your shoulder holding a golf club in a thunderstorm, you're probably going to be feeling much better emotions and you're going to feel really connected with people when you're optimally acting through each day.
Yeah.
And that's how you make more money. Just
Yeah.
because you maybe took a little time to take better care of your health and
Yep.
your happiness and your relationships and your emotions. So they're all working together.
Yeah.
And when you just focus on one, like I'm going to just hustle and grind and hustle and grind and hustle and grind and make money, go on YouTube and say, what happens when you put a brick in a clothes dryer?
Yeah.
And I've seen the videos. They start off okay, they clang a little and make a noise, they shimmy a little, and then pieces and parts start falling off.
Uh-huh. Yes.
And that's bad. So
That's really bad.
I encourage a very well, not balanced,
Right.
integrated approach of all
Yes.
those areas of your life. And you
Oh my
might be
God, I love that.
amazed.
Because you're right. I actually, with some of my clients, it's one of the first things I'm like, sorry, Rue, I'm gonna have to move you because I'm trying to get comfortable. It's one of the
Bye,
first
Rue.
things I do with my clients that I'm coaching is the wheel of life.
Yeah,
And really, because I think it can get really overwhelming, like you're saying, for people if they're just like, oh, I have to overhaul everything and rebuild from the bottom up. And it's like, actually, there might be an area of your life that doesn't really require that much attention from you.
right.
And so you want to focus on the areas that you think like easiest and highest impact, right?
Yep.
So sleep, huge impact, little
Mm-hmm.
change, big impact. Eating, hard, slightly harder for some, right?
Yep.
But like big impact on your health and your mood and all of that. So I love that. That is genius, the way to do a vision board. I want to redo mine now because I did mine with so much intention this last one, but I
Mhm.
didn't do it in like the pieces. So now
Yeah.
I want to redo it. You've just
Yeah.
given me a new art project and I'm
There you
excited for
go.
it. Yeah.
And that's another thing too. And I know they're not just art projects, but some people have
Yes.
hired me to come in. They say, "Hey, we're having a team building day and we want to do an arts and crafts project. Can you come in and teach vision boards?" And I say, "I'm happy to come in, but please understand that I don't treat them as arts and crafts projects."
You're right. They're
And
very serious.
oh, very serious. And
I
I
keep
tell
mine
them,
in my bathroom and I look at it
yeah,
multiple times a day. Yeah.
yeah. Well, and it's funny you say that. One of my favorite clients ever, and a dear friend, her name is Lisa. And Lisa is a Reiki practitioner, a
Hmm.
hypnotherapist, and she just wonderfully, her energy is just amazing. And I used to have her, she would just come to other events back when I used to do open to the public events. And people would say, "Now, what should I do with my vision board?" I go, "Well, my first recommendation is take a picture of it and make it the wallpaper on every single electronic device you own.
Oh, that's
Print out
so
a copy
smart.
and frame it and put it in your office or one in your bedroom. And if you're in your vehicle a lot and you're doing a lot of stops, maybe a lot of sales calls and meetings, print out a picture of it, fold it up, put it in the visor of your car. And every time you stop for a meeting that could advance your life or career in some way, you take it
Yeah.
out and you look at it and say, this meeting is going to get me just one step closer to just one of these goals."
Mm.
And I would say, "Hey, Lisa, where do you keep your vision board?" She goes, "Oh, in my bathroom." And everybody would laugh. I said, "Why do you keep it there?" And she goes, "Hey, I'm there every day, several
Yeah.
times."
Yeah. Oh,
But when
I
she was doing her
love
hair and
that.
makeup, she would put it
Yeah.
right next to her mirror and
I
she would look at
mean,
it and say, "Where
it's
are
a
we going
sanctuary.
today?"
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
sanctuary for me. And doing makeup
Yeah.
is like meditation, and I'm looking directly at it and
Yeah.
repeating some of the wording that's on it. That is so, oh my God, now I'm going to go
Yeah.
print mine. I
Yeah.
love that for salespeople too, because I worked in sales for the longest time, and it's so hard when you're in the hustle and like go, go, go to
Yeah.
stop yourself and slow down and remember like that you're a human and
Mhm.
that you have purpose and intention and all of
Yeah.
those things. So you have to remind yourself of that some days.
Yeah. And something to include in there as well, especially if you have goals, goal driven, maybe a commission or something,
Yeah,
or if there's a goal that's going to take you the whole year and it's going to be incremental, create a tracking system on your vision board. I use one for we have a
that's so
Peloton
smart.
cycle, and that's part of my
Yeah,
my daily workouts, Monday through Friday. I don't ride on the weekends. I let my body recover. And I've got this, it looks like a big thermometer, like I'm having a fundraiser on the lawn of a bank somewhere.
that's
Every
awesome.
time I pass another 100 miles, I color in that line.
Yeah.
And what I started to do is film myself coloring it in. Now I've got these markers that I use specifically because they squeak when I color with them.
I love
I've
that.
got
It's like
clients who
ASMR.
say, whenever I see you doing one of those videos, I turn up the volume because they said, I close my eyes and I hear the squeak and know that you just did another 100 miles.
Oh, I love that.
That's why I ask people, what do you goes look like, feel like, sound like, smell like, taste like? Like,
Yeah,
make it a sensory experience. And
absolutely.
they love the squeak of the marker because it knows I've achieved another increment towards my goal.
Oh my God. I love that. So easy and tangible.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got about 2.5 minutes
Yeah.
left. So I want to ask this question. If
Sure.
you are, whenever
Mhm.
we all go, what do you want people to know before you leave? And it doesn't necessarily have to be about you specifically, but
Mhm.
about this human experience and life and what you have learned that people can take with them.
It is very simple to be kind,
Mm-hmm.
and you never know where the ripples go. And I've already had people tell me someday when you're gone, every time I go to a grocery store and I see a shopping cart left out somewhere, I'm not going to complain that it's there.
Mm.
I'm going to go get it. And I'm going to play Steve's favorite game of shopping cart rodeo and either give it to someone else or bring it all the way back to the store.
Yeah.
That's how I'd like to be remembered, as just showing the world how simple kindness could be and how much it can do for, not
Yeah,
selfishly, but how much it can improve your life. It's addictive.
it is.
And I love it. It's the greatest game you could never lose.
That's so true. I've joked with people before, like, it is so easy. I'm like, watch, here we go. You
Yeah.
see a person out in the world and they have a clothing item on, like all of us do. And you just
Yes.
say, hey, I really like your sweater. Or,
Yeah.
oh, your hair looks so good. It's so easy. It is
Yeah.
so easy. Now, it has to be authentic, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is so easy. And it also is actually easy to find joy.
Mhm.
It is easy to find it because our brains are pattern finders and they will solve whatever problem we want them to solve. So if we say, look out into the world and show me some joy, find it, you will find it. You will.
Absolutely. Yeah. Love that.
Yeah. Especially in the world we're in today, where
Hmm.
we need a lot more joy.
Yeah. And the good
Goodness.
stuff is just as real as the bad
Yes.
stuff. It's
Yes.
legit. And I find it on Sundays when myself and a half dozen other volunteers feed the homeless at a local shelter, and we have joyful moments with them.
Yeah.
One of the volunteers the other day was talking to this woman, and she said, "You've been in line twice for food today." And the woman felt bad. She goes, "No, no, no, it's a good thing. Your smile just lit up this kitchen twice, and
Oh.
we got to be a part of it." And she walked away smiling and feeling better, even though life right now is really challenging for her.
Mm.
It was wonderful what that woman did for her by saying that.
Yeah. Well, Steve, thank you. This has been absolutely amazing. What a great conversation. Keep being
Yeah.
you, keep spreading joy, keep finding it everywhere.